Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live. So happy that you're here. Thank you so much for joining me. This is what we're going to be playing with our first card tonight. It is the Darling Dinos bundle. We're also going to be using some other products because you know me, if you've been with me for very long, I like to mix and match my projects. So let's go ahead and give everybody a couple of minutes to get on and help me find my stream so that I can see your comments. Oh, wow, that was way too easy tonight. Let me put that on before I pull that up. And there we go. Awesome. Oh, look, now my view change. Let me move this and see what happens there. Nobody needs to see my lap. Oh, let's get that up. Oh, there we go. There we go. Better. That's looking better. Let's see. Now, which way do we need to turn it to make it look a little bit straighter? It seems like I should go this way. That doesn't always work. We'll test it out and see what happens. Subtle change. Wait for the camera to catch up. Nope, I think that made it worse. Okay, let me see. Hang on. Don't get sick. Let's see if I turn that a little bit. That makes a difference. And hello, Cynthia. Oh, there. It was the camera itself. Yay. Okay. Got that straightened out. Okay. Whew. All right. So we're going to make a card with the Darling Dinos, and it's actually going to be a shaped card. So I'm going to pull in the meant to be dies. These are from the January 2025 scrapbooking brochure, and you can get them as just the dies or the stamp set, or you can bundle them together and save 10% over the individual piece price. So these are fabulous for the hexagons, and that's what we're going to be using from this set tonight. Not using any bees, and we're only using the hexagons from here. So I'm going to make a cool hexagon shaped card. And then I sort of have this card planned, just a heads up. I made a card, and then I'm changing it because I only needed one Valentine card for my husband. I don't need 2 or 3. So I'm going to make this one a birthday card for my grandson. So we're going to change it up a little bit, and we're going to see how it goes. All right. I think let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start by making our card base. We've got quite a bit of work to do on that. So we're going to take the largest of the hexagons here, and let's grab some basic white thick cardstock. This is an A2 size card, and that's 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. We're going to take our hexagon die, and we're going to place it on the fold with just a tiny little, I'm going to miss the cut line there. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a tape so that it stays in place. Otherwise, we're going to end up with two pieces, and that's not what we want. So I need to be able, my eyesight is not very good tonight for some reason. Okay, so let's make sure we got that. We'll give that just a little press there. Then I'm going to bring in, I have to bring in the Big Boss machine because I can't run these hexagons, this large hexagon through the mini. So I'm just going to put this right here on my plates. And then I'm just going to run this through. Okay. All right. Now, while we have this machine out, we would also want to cut some additional hexagons. Let's get that off of there. Can't really press that in. Mint tape usually doesn't rip your paper or stick too bad. Let me get this off of here. Oh yeah, because I've got this second little piece. That's my, when you cut these hexagons, you not only get the hexagon, but you get the frame, okay? And of course we don't have a whole frame because of the way we ran it through our die cut machine. So we've got these pieces and I'm going to get rid of those. And that left us with a card. The rollers on my machine are messing with my card stock a little bit here. I'm going to just rub that off with my eraser. I did try to clean those rollers today with a baby wipe, running a baby wipe through. Anyway, this is our card base now. We can set this aside. Now, with the second largest hexagon, we need to cut some hexagons and some frames. So I need a frame in basic black. So I've already gone ahead and run that through the die cut machine, and I'll have this to use in another project. So I'll set that aside and I'll keep this frame. Then I needed another piece to do our stamping on. And I've got another frame with that. Okay, and I'm going to show, we're going to use this on the inside and I'm going to turn this black. Okay, so I've got those. And then I needed one final hexagon for the inside sentiment layer. And these all are the second largest die. Okay, so I've got this extra now. I can keep this for later. So let's put this away. And let's get started on our piece for the outside. So we're going to take this and I want to do some ink blending here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put this in place here. And then I'm going to put on my frame. Actually, let me put my frame on. And then we'll put our piece in. Okay. And then how did I do it? Why did I do this way? Oh, because I didn't use this. That's why I didn't need this piece right here. Oh, well, I cut it extra. Okay, let's get rid of this. We don't need it. This is what we need to do. Boo, boo, boo. Can't remember how I did this last week. for sure. I'm going to do this the easy way. I am going to bring this back in. And I'm just going to do this, and it'll just be so much easier. Let's just do it the easy way, peeps. Shall we? We're going to do some ink blending on this. And I'm going to take a piece of mint tape. And I'm going to put this, I'm going to make a horizon here where I want it. And that's going to do two things. It's going to give me a nice horizon line as long as I get it straight. Okay, I've got that straight. Let's get the mint tape nice and straight there. Okay, so now I've got my horizon line, and I'm going to put a nice little blend up here. So we're going to start with some crushed curry, but we'll need our yellow blending brush, which I forgot to grab, so let me grab that. And then I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to start at the top here right next to the mint tape. I'm going to put some of that on there, starting off of my cardstock and working onto my cardstock. Okay, so we've got that. Then let's go with our pumpkin pie. And so we'll grab our orange and we'll do that same thing again. And this time I'm going to overlap the yellow. I'm just going to work that in. Okay. And we're going to move on to fresh freesia. I don't think that's what I did actually. I used a pink. Maybe I didn't. Okay, let's just find me a purple blending brush here. For some reason I thought I had all of those lined up in what I needed. Okay, so now we've got our fresh freesia. I'm going to run that around here. It might have been better with Highland Heather, but I wanted more of a pinky tone. That one's not going to work very good, so let's try Highland Heather. And we'll just throw that on there. I'm going to use the same brush. Go a little bit darker here. There we go, overlapping into that orange. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to go to Azure Afternoon. And we'll throw a little blue in that sky on top of the Highland Heather. All right, and finally, I'm going to take a little bit of Misty Moonlight and put right at the very, very top, just to give that a nice blend of blue. And there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull that up. And then we'll very carefully pull off our tape. And we'll save that tape to reuse for another time. And then let's go ahead and wipe up all of our ink off of the glass mat. Love this glass mat studio. It's available in the online exclusives. If you haven't gotten yours, why not? This thing is absolutely lovely for this kind of work. Okay, so we've got that. Now, we're ready for this. And we are going to take our Post-it or our mint tape again. And this time we're going to flip this. And I'm going to put the tape right back just at that yellow line. I want to leave just a tiny bit of the yellow. And I am not quite straight here. Let's pull that up just a bit and straighten that up. There we go. That is better. Now we're going to take some Old Olive. And we're going to blend on here. Now I know this looks like the sky, but it really is our ground. Make that just a little bit darker at the bottom and lighten it as we go up. Okay. And then we're going to take that off. And here is our scene then. We've got a beautiful sunrise or sunset. I'm never quite sure. And we're ready to go on this piece. Now, before we go too far, let's set this aside and we'll get some stamping done. And let me figure out which. I put everything on one, on the Stamparatus, so we can stamp it all at once. Okay, so I'm using my stamp positioning tool so I can stamp everything all at once. I've got a piece of basic white thick cardstock, and I'm just going to set this in here. This is a sticky pad so that this doesn't move. Hopefully it doesn't stick too heavy. And then I've got my T-Rex party hat, some rocks, a balloon, and the balloon string. And I'm going to take some Memento Tuxedo Black that I've put into my craft white uninked pad. And then we're going to stamp these all at once. We're stamping them all in black. There's no reason to waste time stamping each image, so I'm just going to use my stamp positioning tool and stamp those all at once. And those are all the pieces that we're going to need. So let's go ahead and clean that off real quick so that when I close it up, it doesn't leave ink everywhere. Okay, just took a chamois, and then we'll set this aside. Okay. Oh, let me pull this off. Just going to bend this back, pull that off, and then we'll put the protective coating back on there and close that up. And now we can set that aside. We're done with that. Okay, so now we have our pieces and we can start coloring. I pre-did, oh, we need one more. I need one more of those rocks. I need 2 sets. So I'm just going to pull a set off. And then we'll grab a block. And we'll give that a stamp. Hello, Laura. Hello, Jennifer. Okay. And we'll stamp that down. And now we've got 2 sets of rocks. Okay. I better put that back where I can find it. I'm mindfully placing it, Laura, so I can find it later. Okay. So now we've got these. I'm just going to tell you what colors I did because I've already pre-colored these to save us some time because both of our projects are kind of involved today. So I used light gray granite for my rocks and dark gray granite. I took the dark gray granite and basically I ran along here like this where there would be shadow and where the artist have put lines. And then I filled it in with the light gray. Okay. And I did that for both my rocks. All right. Then for my dinosaur, the body of my dinosaur is done in soft sea foam, the main portion. And then I did the spines in the azure afternoon, and then every other line on his belly is azure afternoon. And then I finished up that with the dark, or with the balmy blue and the spots. Okay. And I did the same thing, azure afternoon and dark balmy, and balmy blue for the hat. And for the balloon, we used azure afternoon. And through the magic of television, we have our pieces cut with the coordinating dies from the Darling Dinos. Okay, so those are our pieces. There is no die for the balloon string. You can just stamp it down if you want to try and figure out where that's going to go, or you can stamp it and die and fussy cut it like I did. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. We've got our pieces here. So the last thing we need to do is we need to start looking at how we're going to get this. And I did not pull one of the stamps that I need. And that is the grass. I need the grass. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the old olive. We're going to take a look at where all of this stuff is going to fall. We're just going to place our rocks kind of where we want them. Put our dino in here. We're doing this for 2 reasons. One, we need to figure out where to put our sentiment. And 2, where we need to stamp our grass. I'm going to put this in here. Put this down. Take a look at our balloon. It's going to go up over here. Party hat's going to go on right here. Okay. So if we take a look at that, hopefully we can get our sentiment. All right, here, we might have to move this dino back a bit. So let's get our sentiment on there and see how that goes. I probably should use a stamp positioning tool. I probably would be a lot better off if I did. So let's do that. That way I can make sure it's straight, and if I need to double stamp it, I can. So let's pull this back in here and put this down like so. And then we'll put I'm going to grab a grid real quickly here. Where did I put my grid? Yes. Okay. I'm going to grab this. Put this in here. This will just help me know where I need to. Okay, now I got that off and it wants to stick to me. Okay. Then I can put this and line that up straight. And then grab that up. Let's pull this off because we don't need it now. And then we can ink this up in our black ink. And stamp that down and see how that works. Okay, pretty straight, but I really would like it to be a little bit darker, so let's ink that up a second time. I'm not putting a lot of pressure because I don't want to distort that image. Which with photopolymer, if you press too hard on a fine sentiment stamp like that, it distorts your image. Okay, now we can go ahead and get this going. Okay, yeah, these are going to be time consuming tonight, I can tell. Okay, so we've got that piece. All right, got that. Set those out of our way. And now this is ready for us to start putting together. But before we get too excited, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll put this on here. Put this guy over here. Try and put this balloon up here. I need to put his balloon string. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take his balloon string and attach it to his tail. That will work out better for us. Okay, we're going to do it that way. I just told you this wasn't quite designed. And then we're going to put some rocks. And maybe I'll put these over here like this. And this. Okay, so let's take our little, once now we've got that aligned there, I'm going to take our little grass, and I'm going to stamp some grass over here and move my little dinosaur. So it looks like there's a clump sticking out over there. I'm going to move this one, and we'll put our rocks here, and then we'll put another clump up here. And there we go. All right, so now we've got our grass, we've got our dinosaur. We're ready to start putting this together. So let's go ahead and add our balloon string to our balloon. I'm going to take that and I'm going to get a little glue dot. And I'm going to roll that glue dot up with my take your pick tool. And get a hold of that, roll it into like a little log. And then we'll put that at the bottom of our balloon. And then we'll pick that balloon string up with that glue dot. Okay? And we can put that aside for a second. Now let's go ahead and pop this guy up. Gotta have a little bit of dimension, don't we? All right. Get that. And we'll put this kind of like so. Oh, let's make sure he's standing straight though. And then we're just going to add these with some stamp and seal. So I'm going to grab that, stick this so that it covers the grass, sort of. Looks like the grass is peeking out behind the rock. And we'll do the same thing here. And then we're going to take our balloon. And I'm going to pop this balloon up. And then again, I'm just going to take just a tiny bit of my liquid glue and put on the string end. And then we'll tuck that right behind his tail like that and position that balloon. Okay, that kind of looks like that's attached. And then we're going to add his hat, party hat here. And we're going to do that with another rolled up glue dot. And roll that up. Put that at the very tip of our hat. And stick that on his head. Oh, like so. And now we're ready to add this to our card. Okay. So let's scooch that out of the way. Oh, we need to bring that back in. We're going to add this frame to our card base. Just a little bit of liquid glue. You could use adhesive sheet, but then you'd have that adhesive sheet all over the inside of that large hexagon. So I'm going to do it this way. Fine tip glue bottles work great for that. So make sure we have our card in the right orientation. It's being particular here. Okay, I got my top right. So what I found is the easiest way on this frame when you're doing this flat top, line up your bottom and center everything based on the bottom, and don't look at that top. Okay, so try to get it lined up on the bottom and the other side. Come on. It's being a little bit persnickety. I didn't have this much trouble before. Okay. This is driving me crazy. Let's get rid of those tweezers. They don't seem to be helping me very much. There we go. So much easier. Okay, just drop that right down. Okay, so we've got this in the right orientation now. And now we're ready to just take and add some Stampin' Seal to the back of our card. And then we'll just drop that right into the frame. Okay, and now you have a cute dinosaur hexagon birthday card. For the inside, instead of cutting a black frame, I was going to save myself a little bit of effort in cardstock, and I'm just going to take my dark basic black Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to color this white frame. Just going to run that brush tip right along those edges. Okay, and then if you get a little bit of white at the bottom, now you don't have to cut two and waste one. Now, of course, if you have another project in mind for all of those black hexagons, by all means, cut all the frames. But I didn't have another project in mind for a bunch of black hexagons of this size. So this was my solution. Okay, and if you want that to be just a little bit extra black, go ahead, run a, because I've let it dry now, I'm going to run a second coat and darken that up. Okay. Oh, thanks, Laura. Why is wow, my laptop is freaking out. My picture is going in and out, in and out, in and out. So if I'm not able to see your comments here in a couple of minutes, that's why. Thanks, Jennifer. So now we're going to take this, and on the inside of this card now, we're going to blend a little bit more. I should have done this when I did the other one. I was going to take some of the old olive. I actually needed another rock. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom here. All right. So we've got that. Wipe that off. What did I do? Oh, that was a little weird, wasn't it? I did that kind of fun. Oh, no, I didn't. I just got to get it in the right orientation. Man, my brain. Okay, so now we're going to take and put a couple more. I'm going to put one more little I'll put a couple more of these. Okay, just like so. Then we're going to take our inside sentiment, which we're going to grab the stamp positioning tool for again, because it's so much easier to do this way. I've already positioned the first part of the sentiment in here, and it says roar means, and then there's a blank spot in dinosaur. So I'm just going to put this in my tool like so. I'm going to get the black again. And we're going to stamp that down. Okay. And then I'm going to clean that real quick. Put that on a block. I'm going to take the happy birthday, take my sheet here again, and put my happy birthday in so that it's nice and straight and centered as best I can get it. Okay. And because I have that little grid sheet, I can actually test that. So I'm going to test it in black just so I can see where that's going to fall. Yep, that's going to be great. Okay. And then we're going to grab that. And we're going to get that azure afternoon. And then I'm going to straighten this out. Ink up the azure afternoon. And stamp that down. And now I have a two-colored sentiment, just as that stamp was designed to be used. And you can put all kinds of different things with this stamp. You can say roar means I love you in dinosaur. There's several things in this set you can do, but that is our card now. Let's go ahead and put this in. And again, I'm going to pull in this black frame, dot on some glue. I don't have to have glue everywhere. Just want to make sure I get it in the corners and a few dots on the side. Okay. And now we'll take and pick this up. This one's a little bit more tricky because you have a little bit more weight on the upper portion. So we'll put this in. It is a handmade card. So if it isn't perfect, it's okay. Okay, let's see if we can get this down to drop down how I want it. There we go. And let's add our piece. And we'll call that a wrap. So there we have, roar means happy birthday and dinosaur. And hope your birthday's dynamite. Okay, hope you all like that. Of course, give me 1 second here. We've got to put a little bit of Winkostella in here. Got to have some. It's for our little guy, so he probably doesn't want a bunch of sparkle. But there we are. Okay. And let's see. All right. Let's move on to our next card because we're running out of time. Now, our next card, I've made the card type before. I'm going to change it up just a little bit in how I did it before. And we're going to use the Sending Love bundle to make a card that could be a Valentine, but isn't necessarily. Okay, so let's go ahead and we have the Sending Love stamp set and the Sending Love dies. These are no longer offered as a bundle, but they are still available. If you purchased them last year, yay! And then we're just going to use the Just Because I Care from the heart-shaped celebration set. This is back in stock unless it went back out today. I didn't check today, but it was in stock. Hi, Lynette. And we're just going to use the sentiment from here. You could use whatever sentiment works for you. We're also going to be using the celebration paper that's free, the Toadstool Gardens paper. In particular, we're going to be using this mushroom pattern here. Okay, so I've made this a card without the terrific toadstools, but it is going to have some cool toadstools. So let's go ahead and do our stamping and get that out of the way. I'm going to bring in my stamp positioning tool and a piece of white cardstock. Okay. And again, I'm stamping all of my images at once because these are going to be colored and I want them in memento. So we're just going to ink those up, save us some time, stamp everything at once. Okay. And then because we need an extra, that's not going to work out good for me. Let me put that in the center. Okay, I'm not very good when they're off center. I end up swooping them up, making a mess. Okay, so these images here are all from the Sending Love. And let's grab that out of there. Move this out of the way. We're going to take this envelope again. And we're going to ink a second one. Okay, because we need two. One for the inside, one for the outside. All right, then we're not going to color the envelopes. We're just going to leave those alone. For the bird, I used the light crumb cake and the light fresh freesia, and then I used my my color lifter. So this is how I did this. I took a little bit of light fresh freesia at the tips of the wings and at the tail here and right along the belly. Okay, then we're going to add a little bit of the light crumb cake. I'm just going to run that down from the light fresh freesia and under the bird's wing there, and then like so. And then we're going to take our color lifter and we're just going to kind of blend those colors so that our bird looks something like this. Okay. Now for our mailbox, for the wood pieces, I've used deep SU100 and the medium deep SU300 to blend all these wood pieces. Again, I already have these done to save us some time. If I can figure out where I put them, that would be terrific, because they're not in their little thing there. Where did I put those? Oh, please tell me I didn't lose them. Why aren't they in here with these? Because I colored them earlier, you guys, to save us a bunch of time. The question, hang on, give me 1 second. Maybe I left them over by the die cut machine. Oh, yep, I did. I did. I left them by the die cut machine station. Okay, sweetness. Okay, so we've got our two envelopes cut with the die cut. And this is how I colored the thing. So I used light and dark fresh freesia on the mailbox. This is Melon Mambo, and these are the medium deep, all that. And then we used Granny Apple Green at the bottom here. So if you wanted to take a screenshot of those colors, there they are. That's what I used. Okay, So now that we've got all our pieces, because we die cut them with the coordinating stamps, here's the mailbox, the bird, and the letter. And then I also used one of these dies to cut out some melon mambo hearts. And then we have fussy cut from a piece of the mushroom paper. I fussy cut a bunch of the images. Okay, this one we need for our project, but there's a piece left over that I used to fussy cut those. Okay, so this is going to be one of those bandstand cards. So here are all of our card pieces here. So I've got a piece of basic white, and this is 4 1/8 by 5 1/2. And you score it at 3/4 on each of the short sides. Okay, and then we're going to just fold that up like so. I'm going to go ahead and burnish that. I did a bunch ahead to save us time, because I did make one of these not that long ago, but I wanted you to see how cute it is with the sending love. So we're making another one. Then these pieces are 1 1/4 by 5 3/4, and you score it at 3/4, 2, 3 3/4, and 5, and that's on both of these pieces. So again, 3/4, 2 inches, 3 3/4, and 5 inches. Okay, let's go ahead and put our paper on. So we're going to start with our toadstool paper, and I need to put this back how it was, like this and like this. So what I did was I cut a piece of the toadstool paper at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then I cut off 5/8 of an inch on the left and 5/8 of an inch on the right, because I used my Stampin' Trimmer. So I used the 5/8 inch over here and the 5/8 inch over here, and that leaves me with a 2.5 inch piece in the center. Does that make sense? I hope. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our centerpiece. I know some of you who are on actually made this for a make and take, so you kind of are familiar with how it goes here. Let's just center that out. Oh, come on. I need to get that better centered top to bottom. Okay. I did cut this at 5 1/4, didn't I? Or 5 1/2? Yeah, I did. Okay. So then, again, we got to figure out, this goes here, and this goes here. I'm going to use liquid glue for these pieces, just because I find liquid glue a little bit easier on these smaller ones. It also gives me a second to move it into place. Okay, so we'll put that there. Making sure I'm not crossing the score line. Some more liquid glue. And we'll add this one. Thought this would make a really cute card for, actually, I'm sending one to my aunt in Minnesota. I forgot to send out well, I didn't forget, I just didn't get to it, my Christmas cards. So I'm going to send a Valentine card instead. Okay, so now on these two little pieces, I took with the extra cardstock, And I'm going to put a piece in the second panel from each end and then the center panel. And with this particular pattern, it doesn't matter. You really can't tell if they don't line up perfectly. So you're fine. You don't need to grab a second piece of cardstock here. So I'm just going to stick these on. These pieces here are 1 1/8 by 1 1/8 that I'm putting on now. And you need 4 of those, 2 for each panel. Okay. And then this piece is 1 1/8 by 1 5/8 inch. And that's in the landscape mode, which means it's wider than it is tall. Okay. So I've got that piece ready to go. And then let's put this piece here and these 2 pieces here. Okay. I really like this card design, this fun fold. It's so dramatic and it works with so many different stamp sets to make some really unique, beautiful cards. So I'll show you. Well, we better make sure Suzanne's not on and watching. I made her birthday card using this setup. Maybe I'll not show you here because my luck, she'd see it. I'll wait until her birthday is gone. Okay, so now we have these 2 pieces ready to go. So we're going to add these to our card base. I'm going to flip this over to the back with the pattern up. I'm going to flip this over with the pattern up. This is super simple to put together. The hardest part is already done. Once you get the pieces cut, then you're good to go. And I am not putting glue right up to the score line. And there's just a tiny bit of room between the 2 score lines, so I'm trying to center it. Get that lined up, get this lined up, and fold those closed. And then give that a tap to make sure that everything is good and lined up here on the bottom. Give it a press, which is really the top. And then we're going to repeat that process with this bottom panel. Not putting glue right up to the score line, but I am putting it up to the edge here. Okay, we'll center this up again between the 2 scores. Fold those over. Make sure our lines are, our bottom and top are even. Okay, so now we've got that. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead. I've cut 2 pieces of the same cardstock that are 5/8 of an inch by 5 1/4. And I'm going to put some liquid glue on here. And then I'm going to run these panels along the back of the card here. The whole length at 5 1/4, which covers up this little area here and makes it look a little bit neater than I showed my gals at our last crop. You can do it either way with little strips to fit in there, or do it this way. Okay, so there we are. We've got the back. Now, flip that over. There's our vertical pop out portion. Now we're going to take a piece of window sheet. I'm going to get all this, maybe possibly glue off my fingers. And on the front of my window sheet, I'm going to take and put some glue dots on each side and in the center. Just like so. I had to double glue dot on my roll, so then with the glue dot facing up, I'm going to set this in my panel, line that up with that center panel, and give that a press up at the top and the bottom. That's going to pick up my window sheet and give me something to put my decorations on. So let's pull in our decorations. First of all, we're going to start with our box here. Mailbox. Why can't I think of the word? Oh my goodness. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down here at the bottom. And I'm going to actually put glue dots up here. I find glue dots hold better on the window sheet. Okay. I'm not going to go all the way to the end though, because this is going to stick out over my window sheet. So I'm going to put this down here, like so, over here. Make sure my mailbox is standing up straight. Okay, see, that's nice and stuck. All right, and then we're going to start decorating with our, oh, I shouldn't have done that quite like I did. I need to pop this in behind. So let's take a little bit of liquid glue, put on there. And I'm going to pop this up just a bit and stick that like so. A little bit of liquid glue. Then we'll take this little daisy here. I'm going to stick this on. A little bit of liquid glue. Like so. Whoa. Stay. There we go. And then we're going to take a little toadstool here. And I've got a little bit more. I'll stick this right here. So let's go ahead and put a little bit glue on a toadstool here on the stem. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take a little mini glue dot. I'm going to pop that over here so it sticks up a bit. And then we're going to put this down here, like so. Oh, and actually this is going to work out. I was thinking it was going to, oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, you want to make sure that you don't put anything on this side here because you don't want to glue it to this section or it won't pop up. So just one little mini glue dot and a little bit of glue at the bottom. You want this to remain open, okay? That way when you pop it up, it doesn't hinder the mechanism. Very important. I almost messed that up. So I'm going to put one more of these little pieces that I cut out. You can put as few or as many as you want to cut. I just decided this needs just a little bit more greenery right there. Okay, we are almost done with this. Now we're going to take, oh, I've got one more little mushroom I wanted to put on. Hang on, I got a mushroom. I got another little mushroom here. I want to put down here. Oh, like so. Okay, now I've got a nice little decoration at the base of my mailbox here. I'm going to take a letter and I'm going to put just a tiny dab of glue right here at the intersection in the center. And then I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and I'm going to take one of these small hearts from those 4 that we cut out. I've already put Wink of Stella on these hearts. Okay. And then we're going to take a glue dot and on the left side of the envelope here. And we're going to stick this down in here so that it looks like it's hanging out of the mailbox. And we didn't want to put a glue dot on the right side because it's hanging off. Okay, so this, except for our sentiment, is almost what we've got here. So let's take, we need another glue dot or another, yeah, we need another glue dot. Let me grab my Take Your Pick tool and get a hold of that. And I'm going to put this on a glue dot. And I'm going to grab one more of the larger hearts. That one has a small, a medium, or 2 small, a medium, and a large. Now I've got the large and the medium. I'm going to take this heart and I'm going to put it up here. These are my embellishments. I'm using paper embellishments. And then I'm going to put another one right in here. Okay? Which gives me my triangle. The last thing to do is to put our sentiment up here on the front. So let's stamp that out and hopefully I can do it the easy way without making a big problem here. Let's get my silicone mat so I can see. I've got a very thin, like 1/4 inch piece of basic white. And I've got the Just Because I Care. And I'm going to get some Melon Mambo ink. I'm going to ink that up. Let's get rid of some of this mess here that I should have put away as I went. Okay, let's clean that up a bit because it's driving me crazy. Okay, so let's bring this down. We're going to stamp this right at the bottom in the corner. Okay. Actually, let's do that again. I don't want to cut this. So I'm going to try to stamp it in the middle. But I do need to stamp it clear at the side. Okay, let's see how we did. Yes, excellent. Now let's take our snips. I'm just going to snip that off straight across. And then we'll bring back in our card. Take a little strip of glue here. And by the time we're done, this should be about 1 5/8 inch wide. And we should be able to put it right here in the center, just like so. Okay, so this card is almost 100% finished. For the back of my card where I want to sign it, I'm going to take the stamp set, or the stamp that's from Sent with Love, and I'm going to take the Melon Mambo ink again. And in the bottom right corner, I'm going to stamp Sent with Love. Okay, and then we're going to take that bird and that other letter that we did. Well, if we can get a hold of it out of here. And we need the last heart. So let's put another little drop of glue in the center here. Just a dot, not a lot. Okay. And then we'll take that final heart from that 4. Come on. Okay. We're going to put that right there in the center again. Like so. Hang on, let me get the lid here. Give that a good press. And then we're going to take this and we're going to add it to here with some liquid glue. Like so. Then we're going to take our little bird and a glue dot. And we're going to put him so it looks like, hang on. This is a me thing. I don't like so much white when I'm trying to make an image look like they're part of each other. So I'm just going to trim just the bottom part so that his feet look like they're hanging on to that envelope, like so. And there is the back of our card. So we're going to take this and I'm going to add it to the back of the card here in the center. This is a 2.5 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And there we have the back so that we can write our message and sign it. And there is our front. Okay. So these are the projects that we made tonight. Sorry, I kept you a little late. They were both a little involved. This was my original hexagon card that I made using the Darling Dinos. I used the T-Rex and then the, I don't know what that's called. I call it Sarah. And then roar means I love you in dinosaur for this one. Okay? So those are our projects for tonight. I hope you liked them. I will not be live next Tuesday on February 4th. I will be attending my grandson's swim meet, and it is senior night, of which he is a senior. So it will be an extra long meet. For that reason, they'll be introducing all the seniors and doing their senior night thing. So I will not be home in time for a Facebook Live. So I'll see you again Thursday this week on YouTube, and then it'll be Thursday the following week on YouTube. And in 2 weeks, I'll be back on Facebook on Tuesday. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are inspired by these projects, and I will see you soon. Until then, happy stamping. Good night. Thanks, Cynthia. I'm glad you like it.